Doctor Who here. Another Bring It Volume 1008. Dead on Arrival, FOAMSTARS reaction. You know, we couple while ago ended the Sony Pony Splatoon branding entirely, and I'm leaving it as is. You know, there's a new FOAMSTARS video on YouTube. It's about 2 weeks old. And, you know, in an era where there's barely any FOAMSTARS videos except for the people that play FOAMSTARS, you know, FOAMSTARS as of the end of June in 2025 is a lot more dead than it was 6 months ago. And Doctor has predicted everything he's predicted, and everything has come true. And you can't say I'm wrong, because the facts are there, the stats are there, and I don't spit bullshit. But here we go. Sony Pony Splatoon thing is over with, you know. Instead, I'm doing this video reaction in a Bring It volume, which has never been done, basically, you know. So, very interesting to do it in a Bring It volume, especially a FOAMSTARS reaction. I wanted to react to this video because it's just the first FOAMSTARS video in a very long time. So let's get right into it. You know, JJ Savage and White Dragon Kiri over there, you know, would bitch and disagree. And I didn't see their names in the comment section. I didn't see any FOAMSTARS, you know, the wannabe pretender pros in the fucking comment section. But let's get to the video.
You never really had a chance anyway.
No, they didn't.
Have you heard of FOAMSTARS? It's a silly question, I know, but there's a good chance some of you haven't. Early 2024 marked this game's release, and I was one of those 7 people to notice. This was
7. I wish that was true, but it's in reality, it's 200.
Enix's attempt at trying to make a new, unique multiplayer game that ended up failing miserably.
Oh, yes, it did.
For whatever reason, though, this game has not left my mind since release. I wasn't an active player by all means. I was very much a part of the problem. But you know what? I've been interested in looking back at the game and figuring out what went wrong. What was it that really killed
Oh, we know what went wrong. I covered it many times, what went wrong, and the entire FOAMSTARS community is fucking delusional, living in fairy tale land like a bunch of fucking idiots. People like JJ Savage and White Dragon Kiri. I think the only person in the FOAMSTARS community that had common sense was Soaboa, because, you know, in the end he realized everything I said is true, and he saw it for himself, and he took the truth to himself, and he definitely didn't live in delusion. He definitely, you know, saw what it really was, and he admitted it. And honestly, Soaboa hasn't done any fucking thing since. He's gone nowhere with his gaming life, but, you know, kind of a downgrade, but you know, maybe he's happier. Oh well, maybe he's disappointed. I don't really care.
FOAMSTARS and who faces grave. Yep.
Arcteryx.
Son of a bitch, there's ads.
Multiplayer shooter with a large emphasis on covering the terrain with your team's color. Okay, I see where this is going. Alright, the comparisons have been made before, but realistically, these games do differ quite a bit. But you can't really blame people for realizing these games
They differ, but it's still the same shit.
Bright-colored liquids being used to cover a team's territory? Yeah, gee, I wonder where the inspiration lies. But hey, originality can only take you so far, right? Sometimes it's better to just borrow ideas. And speaking of borrowed ideas, Foam. For an easy comparison, I want you to think about how Splatoon uses its ink. Now, imagine if that whole gameplay system was just bad. By far the easiest aspect of FOAMSTARS to pin blame on is its core gameplay. It's lacking in all of the most important areas. Let's just go over this quickly. This is how foam works. Shoot some blobs of foam out and they'll stick to the ground. The more you stack up, the higher a pile will build. When an opponent shoots their colored foam onto yours, the foam dissipates and gets replaced by their color. A very simple to understand mechanic. Now, Square, you understood the very core basics. Why did you stop there? Okay, let's run a quick test. How many games can you think of that play like Splatoon? Not including the obvious one. I don't really know of any, personally speaking, unless you want to count, like, fucking the Blob. I wouldn't. What I'm trying to say is that Splatoon is so damn unique. And a lot of companies can't seem to replicate it.
Is a
right.
masterpiece. It is classic Nintendo.
It's all about covering turf in your color. The more ground covered in whichever color wins the match. What's that? You got enemies after you. Kill them. Splat them. And they'll be out of your way. All weapons are tied to your ink meter. In fact, the whole damn gimmick is tied to this one mechanic. The more ink consumed, the less you have in store. Naturally, with any gun, you're gonna take out the magazine, reload the bullets. No. Just sink into the ink. And while you're there, you might as well move around, swim to move faster, swim to scale walls, swim to a hiding spot, and act like you're playing Metal Gear. Ink is the ultimate multi-tool. And now foam is like, if you got rid of mostly everything, it inherently functions worse because Square Enix just didn't correctly implement it. For one, covering the ground in foam is not crazy important. The main mode is a deathmatch. Covering the ground is only useful for being able to move around quickly. Standing in your own foam is fine. Standing in enemy's foam will make you slow and vulnerable. Naturally, you're going to want to move around quickly, and you can by using a surfboard, which I'll give them credit to that. The surfboard's pretty good. Using this efficiently makes games very fast-paced, and very satisfying to skirt around enemies. It also doubles as your main form of securing a point. Even though you can fully foam up another person into a big ball, that doesn't count yet. But surfing into them and knocking them away secures the goal. Alternatively, if your teammate is foamed, you can free them by doing the same. All in all, surfboard good. That was really well done. However, please note that the only good function is the one with the least relevance to foam. More notably, your main weapon is linked to this meter, just like Splatoon's. As you'd expect, everything works and revolves around this meter. Wrong. Only the main weapon works on this. Side weapons work on a cooldown, and simply recovering meter is just a reload button. Now, that's not necessarily bad, but the more things that aren't connected to this whole system, the less important it is. The gradual recovery that Splatoon uses lets you get into action quicker. Going in with that mindset is more or less going to get you eliminated, because you won't realize your foam needs to be reloaded. Now, I want to briefly mention foam's unique capabilities in adjusting its elevation mid-game. Essentially, the more foam you shoot out in a certain spot will build up and change the map's terrain. So surely that adds a huge layer of gameplay difference. Wrong again, Chuckle Nuts. What would you expect a wall of foam to do? I imagine it'd be good to hide behind, but oh, wait a second. Everyone is visible at every point in time, including the opponents. Hiding is simply not an option. Well, that's fine. How about using the added elevation to reach higher platforms? That's useful for scaling harder to reach platforms, except it's not. Most platforms that require jumping, you can get to pretty easily by jumping. Either that, or the stage is already designed to easily access higher areas. It all just feels incredibly shoehorned in. The whole unique functionality of its gameplay is just not needed, nor is it encouraged to be used like this. Most times you're going to focus on just getting eliminations and only really care about the terrain when you're running away. That is what I call a failure. Speaking of a failure, Square Enix, you sadden me with your immense greed. Do you remember when the game first came out? No, you fucking don't. Why did I ask you that? FOAMSTARS is free to play now, but it was $30 at launch. Plus the online service needed to play, that's at least $40. But also the game was a free PS Plus monthly game, so you could just get it for $9. What was the point of that? Bottom line is, putting a price on this game already gave it a bad start. It doesn't help that there is still a battle pass and item shop system too, because of course there is, why wouldn't there be? Let's see the prices for these. Oh! I don't even like buying full games for this price. Who the hell would ever spend this much on a single set of cosmetics? Considering they changed these prices relatively.
I'll tell you who. I'll tell you who would buy the fucking cosmetics. JJ Savage, White Dragon Kiri, Y Thonk, Soa Boa, Teen Titan Stack. Who else? Ace, that fucking bum. Who else? And all the rest. Who else, huh? Calzador, Chris. I could keep naming them. All the wannabe pretender pros on FOAMSTARS that think they're doing something. In reality, they're not. They're the idiots buying this shit for $40. And they're all proud, waving the flag into battle like a bunch of idiots. And in reality, their game is dead, as this guy says. And it's on its way out very soon. I predicted server shutdown announcement by the end of this year. I stand by it. I stand by it. It's on its way out. Idiots like them are paying for the shit, like a bunch of idiots. Kiri's working fucking McDonald's to buy FOAMSTARS skins. JJ Savage is mooching off his parents to buy FOAMSTARS skins. Calzador is working a car wash to buy FOAMSTARS skins.
Quickly, and now nothing is above $20. I'm assuming no one, thankfully. We agree this is just complete corporate greed, right? Me personally, seeing cosmetics get tagged up to $20 worth already seems like a bit much. I say that like I didn't just spend $40 on a Miku Fortnite skin, but we've all got our exceptions. FOAMSTARS being an already priced game, on top of the paid online subscription needed, and then having the balls to mark cosmetics this high, it's not the least surprising why they lost 95% of their player base within 2 months.
You heard that? All these FOAMSTARS idiots on the game are delusional to that fact. It lost 95% of the player base going into month 2 when the game launched. Why are they never mentioning that? Why are they so delusional about that aspect? Why do they pretend like that's not real? Because they live in fairy tale land, thinking it's active when only 200 people play the damn thing. Delusional. Absolutely delusional is the entire FOAMSTARS community. That, what he just said, is a fact. That is a fact that I stated when I started the Sony Pony Splatoon cause. You know? But hey, Doctor, you're wrong, and of course, this guy's wrong too. I'm sure Kiri's sitting there on her fat ass just getting off work at McDonald's. Be like, hey, he's wrong. FOAMSTARS is active, yeah. If it's active, where's the views on Twitch? Where's the streams on Twitch? Where's the views on YouTube? You ain't got none. Because there is no activity. There's only 200 people playing this actively. And that's across multiple server regions. That's how low FOAMSTARS truly is. But you know, Doctor, you're wrong. And this Maximum guy, he's wrong too. Sure. He knows what he's talking about. He did his research. He doesn't live in delusional land like the rest of the FOAMSTARS fucking community. Let's fucking be real.
Oh, that's true, by the way. It really did only take 2 months for them to lose almost everyone. FOAMSTARS failed to keep players interested in it long term. It did not correctly understand what made Splatoon so fun and entertaining to millions.
You heard that? Right there. Mic drop.
Trying its best to recapture it, but
You know why Splatoon's so godly? It's got that Nintendo charm. It's a Nintendo franchise. Yeah. What does FOAMSTARS have? JJ Savage, give me a break.
inevitably failing. And yet, everything I've brought up isn't necessarily the actual reason for its failure. While making this video, I streamed some matches to my friends and showed them bits of gameplay. Mostly just so they could get a grasp on the game, because some of them hadn't previously played it. Now, each one of them said that by watching FOAMSTARS footage, it just makes them want to play Splatoon, and that to me is exactly why FOAMSTARS failed.
What can you say? Splatoon is Splatoon, man. It's a great game. It's a great franchise. It's got culture. It's got music. It's got spark. It's got greatness written all over it. Perfection. It's fucking Nintendo. It's got Nintendo charm.
Greedy monetization is one thing, but making your player base realize they'd much rather play the game you copied from is a much bigger problem. I did not want to make this entire...
Yeah, the people that do play FOAMSTARS are the people that settle for less. They're like homeless people living in a shelter because they don't want to buy an apartment.
...video about comparing and contrasting these two games, but trying to really pinpoint what FOAMSTARS did wrong is a lot harder when not directly looking at the original source for comparison. Even with that now, by far the biggest problem FOAMSTARS ran into was players simply asking themselves, why would I play this over Splatoon?
Why would you play it over Splatoon? You gotta be some kind of traitor or some kind of Make-A-Wish Down syndrome looking idiot. Like JJ Savage or White Dragon Kiri or fucking... You gotta be poor as fuck that you can't buy a Switch 2 like Calzador over there. You know, living in a fucking third world country.
Those who answer the call of the vagabond know.
I'm sure a lot of you watching had that same thought, because it's a genuinely good question. If you already own Splatoon, and you enjoy it, there's not much reason to switch to an alternative.
Right?
This is a game built around its ink mechanic. Every little thing is influenced around ink, whether it's level design, usable weapons, or puzzles to be solved. This is a game that had a gimmick thrown into it with no real direction or understanding of how to use it effectively.
Don't tell JJ Savage that.
But feel at least a little bad for them. You know what? I'll at least...
Don't even feel bad for them. They got what they deserve. They're traitors. They settle for less. They're delusional. They're stupid. They don't deserve to feel sorry for. They chose to settle for less. They chose to live in a fucking shit fest. They chose a poor ass game to spend all their time in wasting their fucking gaming lives when they could do something more relevant. Do not feel sorry for someone like White Dragon Kiri or fucking JJ Savage or Calzador. Be happy you know what the good shit is and you know what to play the good shit is. You know what luxury is. Splatoon 4 is guaranteed. We got a Splatoon spin-off coming out. Are you getting a FOAMSTARS spin-off? No, you're not. Splatoon 3 is getting support for another 3 years to drag it out to wait for Splatoon 4. That's called luxury. Not settling for less, struggling on FOAMSTARS like Calzador, White Dragon Kiri, Teen Titans Stack, that fucking bum Ace, and fucking JJ Savage, Mr. Delusion himself.
Give you a good job sticker. You deserve that much.
Yeah, give fucking JJ Savage a good star sticker. Put it right on his fucking shirt. He'd be fucking proud of himself.
Will probably go down in history as Not the biggest flop of 2024. Sony gets that trophy. Good job to them. But it will be marked as a big fumble for Square Enix.
Absolutely.
I've spent a lot of time dragging this game and tarnishing its name more than it did itself. But
I've done the same, buddy, but you know what? I did it worse than you because I fought the war against fucking FOAMSTARS, going into games, throwing games, ruining the experience for everybody on my team, going into a game, dominating, showing the entire FOAMSTARS community that I could play just as good as they ever were, while pissing all over their game, video after video, and becoming the most hated person in FOAMSTARS history, to where the entire community knows who the fuck I am and cannot stand me and try to sweep me under a rug and pretend like I don't exist anymore. In conclusion, your game's gonna die, and I'm still gonna thrive on other games.
There's one really good aspect of FOAMSTARS I've yet to mention. Now, when I tell you that this little multiplayer game from last year that nobody really paid attention to might unironically be one of the best soundtracks Square Enix has ever produced, I'm being completely honest.
Well, the music's alright, I'll give it to him.
Reason for it was just because of how beautiful the OST is. However, yeah, sorry, it's not all perfect. Look, Square Enix, I love you, but you just keep pissing me off today. It was pretty evident that you were expecting FOAMSTARS to flop, but you still went through the effort and created a game with an amazing OST. But then you go and you can't even give each song their own little album art, and instead you chose to use AI-generated images? You don't have a single graphic design intern over there that could have
It's called cutting a cost because they're too cheap.
If I must. All right, moving on. Let's get
but
to
JJ Savage will sit there and make a 40-minute video disagreeing to that. I have some ideas. I have an idea, JJ Savage. Why don't you shove fucking Justice so far up your ass, and then you could fuck Kiri in a three-way with Jet Justice.
Just made so I could talk about the soundtrack. I do love it. But with that being said now, may FOAMSTARS rest in peace. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Most don't do that. You also get a good job sticker. There you go.
Thank you for the good job sticker. It was a good video, buddy. Good video. Proves every single thing I ever said about Splatoon. And FOAMSTARS. I can't forget FOAMSTARS. Like I said, FOAMSTARS' days are numbered. Enjoy what you have left, FOAMSTARS community. Keep on waving the flag, Kiri, you fat bitch. Don't quit your day job at fucking McDonald's. Keep on waving the flag, Calzador, Aliba. And go ahead. JJ Savage, keep waving that flag. Because when that D-Day hits, when that server announcement gets announced to be shut down, you're going to be the biggest stupid idiot with a stupid look on your face more than everybody. All your hopes and dreams, JJ, crumbling before your feet, and you're going to make some damage control videos with ideas thinking there's going to be a FOAMSTARS 2. In reality, there is no FOAMSTARS 2, but there's a Splatoon spinoff. Splatoon 3 is going to have content for the next 3 years, and that Splatoon 4, halfway through the Switch 2 life cycle, will come out. And everybody on Splatoon will live in luxury while all you on FOAMSTARS drown in misery. I have spoken.